Welcome to the Delco Nerd Network Hot Takes. What is a hot take, you may ask? Well, it's where we sit down, give our thoughts, give our opinions on a game, a movie, a TV show. And today, there's a movie, and today we are going to be reviewing Black Panther. Of course, my name is Anthony Ragucci. I might have already said that. But with me to review, co-host Chris Trio.
How's everyone doing? Thank you for joining us if you're in here already.
So, let's just give opening statements.
Jump right into it.
Yeah, I like starting to do that with the reviews.
No,
because we did it with the movie reviews, and like some of the games we kind of don't. But like, yeah, let's start by just giving like a
overall,
a statement,
non-spoilery,
the opening statement.
Yeah, we aren't gonna I'll try and be like spoiler when we start giving our spoilers. But please, your opening statement.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Go first.
Okay. Going in, there's a lot of expectations, a lot of hype in this movie going in before I even saw it. Did it meet those expectations? Yes and no. This is a really good movie, but it's not the second coming of Christ, and I don't think it's the best Marvel movie.
I'd even go so far to call it a fantastic movie, but yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not my favorite Marvel movie. A lot of people are like, oh, this is my favorite. I could see that, but, like, of course, Winter Soldier.
It's in my top 5, easy.
Taking my top. I see, like, if I think about, like, my top 5, I can't do that. But
I can.
Like, off the top of my head, I don't know.
That's true. Off the top of my head would be a little, but I think I actually might be able to list mine off the top of my head.
But this movie is, like, really nothing we've ever seen before in Marvel. This is a very, like, cultural movie.
Yeah, it's not very just own flavor to it.
It's not just the superhero movie. It's very much a, hey, like, let's... Like, okay,
explore this whole new world.
Yeah. It's more about, like, talking about a race of people, not necessarily, like, all Africans, all black people, but, like, the Wakandans, like, people we haven't really been exposed to in the Marvel Universe, and nor has anyone else, except for in Civil War.
And, I mean, people know about Wakanda, obviously, but they think it's just this third world country where it's just a bunch of stick huts and such, but continue.
Yeah, so... It is good. It's really good. It's one of the better, introductory origins. This really isn't an origin story. I guess
it half is, half isn't.
Origin story / first outing.
First adventure. Yeah.
Yeah. first adventure. But I think this movie has one of the best villains we've seen in a Marvel movie to date, and mind you, that's not hard to beat at all. Because if we're being serious, besides Loki, I think every other Marvel villain's kind of throwaway. To be honest, like
Vulture, not throwaway at all. I think he's awesome. But continue.
I don't know, but like that movie just happened, and it's not. I don't know.
Okay. No. I'm sorry. I shouldn't interrupt you.
What else? You lost me in the train of thought.
I apologize.
Yeah. So like, I think Black Panther.
You enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and then like the villains were good. I honestly would say like. Michael B. Jordan's performance as Killmonger is better than Chadwick Boseman.
I think that's a big thing.
That's huge.
I mean, that's a big thing a lot of people are saying, too. Like, first thing people are talking about when they talk about this movie is Killmonger. Which, I mean, isn't a dig at Chadwick Boseman. He's freaking awesome.
No,
I love him.
No, yeah. But the cast is really good.
Super strong.
Lupita Nyong'o. I'm not sure who plays Shuri.
I can't remember her name
at all.
But I love her. She was one of my favorite characters.
Whoever plays her does a good job. Dunai Guerrero from The Walking Dead. Finally, I love seeing those Walking Dead people get out of The Walking Dead and do other things. And she plays, I forget, she's the Dora Milaje general, and I'm not sure what her name is off the top of my head. That's one thing that was hard about this movie. If you didn't know names going in, I still didn't know them leaving.
Yeah, I mean, some people might be more apt to remembering that type of stuff too. Yeah, no, I think they're more complicated names.
Yeah,
they are. They really are.
Yeah, they're more complicated.
And that's not a bad thing, right? It's just they are.
Then we got the guy from Get Out.
He's we'll get into him a little bit later. No, I don't know his name either, but he's awesome as well. Anything else for your overall thoughts?
Seeing Andy Serkis actually not play like a CGI thing is pretty cool, and I thought
he owned that role definitely.
Yeah, Ulysses Claw was done well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's probably kind of it for me. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, like you said, yeah, there was definitely a lot of hype going in this movie, and I was going in open mind. It takes a lot for me to hate a Marvel movie, and this one was it was awesome. It really was in a lot of ways, but there are a lot of things where I'm like, okay, well, what's going on there? And there's a few like MacGuffin-ish type moments where I'm like, it's not as blanketly as like they need to get this, and if they get that, they save the world and stuff like that. And that's awesome. Like you already covered, Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger. I think he's top 3 villains, easy. Might actually even be better than Loki in some ways.
See, the only reason I think Loki is good is because he has like 4 movies to be good.
That's another thing too.
Like,
but just going off of like Loki from first Thor to Killmonger and first Black Panther, he shits on Loki.
Yeah,
and I just they make you really feel for his character in a very visceral way. You're like, oh, that makes total sense why he fucking hates him, why he doesn't like any of these people, and why he wants to do
I think it's pretty
clear-cut motives.
His motives are clear-cut, but like you as an audience member
can sympathize with that.
Can sympathize or just understand it in a way.
And overall, just the aesthetic they go for, I think it's just super cool. It's a totally new flavor, like we said, from anything else we've seen in a Marvel movie. The whole technology aspect of Wakanda was definitely seen through to the fullest, I think.
Yeah.
I really liked the beginning. It was kind of like Wonder Woman's in a way, where they did that opening crawl of explaining Wakanda and why it's been sheltered from the world with all the vibranium and all that stuff, and why they thought it was necessary. I just think overall they took a character that definitely I don't think could have worked as maybe your first Marvel, like a Tony Stark, like Iron Man launching your thing.
No.
And they knocked it out of the park. Even I like this better. Doctor Strange I really liked, but I like this better than Doctor Strange. I have to see it again too, definitely. And like I said, there's a few kind of what the hell questions that I have, but we'll get into that a little bit more. First thing I want to start off with, Chadwick Boseman. So we talked about Killmonger. I love him. And I do think that Chadwick Boseman is that glue that, like, if he didn't work in Civil War, though, and bleed over, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
And he really, he sells that accent. He sells his presence. When he walks into the room, you're like, this guy's a king.
I really don't understand how he does that accent.
I don't either. It's awesome.
Like, you hear him talk, he...
Sounds like a dude. Sounds like a regular dude.
Sounds like normal. Like,
it's like...
And he's American. He's not, like, British.
No, yeah.
So it's weird to, like, hear him go back and forth.
And apparently he, like, keeps that accent going the whole time he's on set. I feel like that's the way you should.
You ever just talk in an accent for a while? Like, you just kind of, like...
You feed into it, yeah.
Yeah, like, you just, like, are more, like, not familiar with it, but, like... Doing it is, like, second nature.
Exactly. And there was one gripe I had with it, too. I think... Like, so the suit, from Civil War to Black Panther, the solo movie, the concept of why it changes I like a lot, because Shuri basically builds him the suit inside his collar, and I get how it, like, comes out and everything, but just the look and the actual practicality look of the Civil War suit is so much better. Yeah. It just looks so much cooler.
If you look at the new suit, it's the suit part, like, the body is skinnier, but the helmet is, like,
it's the same size almost as the last one, so it looks beefier.
So it just kind of looks like his head is just like way too big for his body. It just kind of looks awkward. And the Civil War suit has a little more going on.
And I think it's just like more practical looking, to be honest. I think the new one is practical, but like it just looks like spandex compared to like the other one where
it looks like a suit of armor,
or just like it looks like they almost have this layered fabric going over it, and there's these designs, and I thought it was really cool. But that was a tiny.
I assume that's a suit we're gonna see in Infinity War, right?
The one from Civil War?
No.
Oh yeah, the one that he's wearing now, totally.
Yeah, and I assume they won't change it.
Like I said, the concept of why it changes, I think, is a cool one. But do I think that they could have made it look a little more real after doing that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chadwick Boseman.
I'm interested to hear was the Black Panther suit from Civil War practical or CGI?
It was half and half. I remember seeing like a lot of on-set pictures, and like the suit itself was pretty practical. I think like Spider-Man's, they did some stuff to smooth some stuff over, but for the most part it was practical. For the helmet, they had the eyes cut out so you could see through it. And that was, I think, another reason they changed up the helmet. Like you see his like eyes like click up. So like he can actually, I think, wear the helmet and look around and shit practically like in the suit.
Okay.
But obviously in the movie itself he's supposed to just be able to see fine all the time. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm eating up the whole...
No, you're fine.
Killmonger, we kind of already touched on. Anything else on Chadwick, though?
Not
Anything
really.
else really like that?
No.
I just think he is that glue. Like, everyone's talking about Killmonger this time around, and I feel bad for him, but I think Chadwick got his due in Civil War for how good he was.
Yeah, because I like in Civil War, like Black Panther's like a huge standout.
Totally.
Like I saw seeing him fight. Honestly, I thought some of his fight scenes in Civil War were better in Black Panther. For some reason, I think it was just the juxtaposition between him and other fighters is a lot different. So like he's more of a standout.
Totally.
But with all the rest of the Wakandans, like you don't.
I mean, all the
what's the guard called? Scene. Dora Milaje.
They're good, and some of the I feel like you see their fighting prowess. The girl who plays Michonne, what's her name?
Denai Guerrera.
She has this one fighting scene when they're in the club, in wherever they are when they meet Ross. Really I really love. She like takes off her wig, throws it at a dude, and then I don't know what it is about a staff. Whenever someone fights really cool with a staff, I'm in. I don't know what I just love it.
Yeah, but I think like the juxtaposition between like the other Avengers and Black Panther was different, and his like fighting style was more like prominent. In this one, it kind of like wasn't.
I think in that first scene it does when he's taking down all the dudes. But after that,
because he's fighting everyone, and they're kind of like in the similar like they're Wakandan, so they're obviously like trained similarly.
When they're just looking around, and then they shine the light up, and he's in the.
I actually didn't like that scene that much because I could barely see what was going on.
See, but I thought that's like why it worked so well.
I don't know. I hate when same with games. I hate when scenes are too dark to the point where like
you don't know what's happening.
Fucking thing.
Yeah. What was my other thought there? I had one more, but I can't remember.
I'm talking about
Denai, yeah. Just there are a lot of cool practical fight scenes, but then we'll get to the end fight scene later. I was a little bit disappointed.
I was gonna say I don't think we talked about it, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the same place you are.
I think we gave Chadwick his due. He's the glue that holds it together. I love him. Technology-wise, all side characters were really cool. There was a lot of strong female characters.
A lot of
which
people
is cool.
were dishing Martin Freeman like he didn't have a role, and I'm like, really?
I saw some other things like that were like, did he need to be there or something? And I was like,
yeah.
Well, I think
it makes total sense why he's there.
I think it makes total sense why he's there, and I don't think he shouldn't be there. But at the same time, does he need to be there? Probably not. But I think he's that outside perspective into like, what the hell? I thought Wakanda was just like
he's kind of like us.
Exactly. Yeah. And I thought scene
in a way, but
but but you're right. He's supposed to be our viewpoint of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. And I thought there was actually a cool scene with him later in the movie where he plays a little bit of I wouldn't say pivotal role, but he definitely helps him out in a bigger way.
Yeah, I think they find their ways to make him like not.
And I love Martin Freeman too.
Unnecessary. Like I think Lupita Nyong'o's character, who is Black Panther's ex-girlfriend, kind of just like has a few lines to say, but like in action perspective, like she doesn't really do much at all.
And I think she was more of there as like I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to say this. I think she wasn't there for that reason, to be like the more like physical force. I think it was supposed to be more of like to drive him mentally to like. Well, we're getting into spoilers here, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but she's trying to be like, Wakanda should help people. Like, Wakanda shouldn't just be sitting behind, doing nothing. Like, we have all these nations in turmoil literally in our own country, and we sit back and do nothing.
It's kind of funny. Like, you sit back and, like, you guys realize how selfish you are? Like, they are very much, like, progressing their own society and saying fuck you to everyone else.
Yeah, like,
not that I'm saying they need to give out vibranium like it's nothing, but, like...
Maybe a little bit of help.
They've been in seclusion, and they, like... I just don't understand, like, how you could do that for that long and have that type of technology. Like, where do you go with it? But apparently, like, they know what's going on outside. Like...
Well, they
drop, like Shuri says, oh, like the movies Dad used to watch, which was a Black to the Future reference with the self-tying shoes. I didn't catch that at first, but I was like, okay. I get it, but I was like, I don't know what you're referencing.
See, I see it as more of like their like they have a public face. Like people know Wakanda exists, but they don't know in that fashion.
Yeah, but they're not like they're not totally isolated. Like
exactly, they still know. On. Well, exactly, because they are playing a small part in the world, but not into the like we see at the end of this movie they start becoming more of like an outreach country that are trying to help people, and that's cool. And that's a main thing about this movie. It's like, and Killmonger kind of represents the more, I don't want to say like the more radical side of it. Yeah, that is like you understand why he's more radical. I mean, we find out later in the movie. Like, spoiler.
Yeah, we're getting into spoilers.
That basically at the beginning of the movie we see this flashback. It's T'Challa's dad, T'Chaka. I was confused by that a little bit at first, and he's in his Black Panther suit. I just was confused on who it was at first until he took off. I was like, oh shit, that makes total sense. I don't know why.
Well, it said 1992, so like I knew. It was.
I don't know.
Oh, by the way, that suit is based off the Marvel Knights Black Panther.
That's great. It looks cool, but
because it has the cape and go for it. Continue.
We see these guys like preparing for something in an apartment, and then T'Challa shows up to talk to the guy who ends up being his brother. And basically, you find out that he betrayed Wakanda and told Claw about the vibranium deposit.
I didn't pick that up at first, but I figured
didn't?
I maybe I don't know. I don't think I realized that Claw was. Actually, no. Maybe they say it. I don't know.
They said no. They bring him up because he like says he's like Ulysses S. Claw, and then he like pulls up the picture of him.
Yeah. So never mind. I didn't. Yeah.
No big deal.
That's stupid. Yeah.
But we find out, and then. We basically find out that he was the one that told Claw about it, and basically what he's saying, and it's very relevant socially, and I think that they touch on a lot of social issues in very tasteful ways in this movie.
Yeah, I don't think.
And he's like, basically T'Challa's brother is like, guys, our people are dying out here. We're sitting back doing nothing, and he's calling out all these things, and T'Challa's like, dude. That's not our ways. We're introverted. We don't help people, or we don't go outside our country lines. And we find out later in the movie that you think he's just going to take him. That T'Challa, I don't know, what's his brother's name? His brother ends up trying to kill the other dude who was a spy on him. And to save that dude's life, T'Challa kills his brother and leaves him there. And
leaves his son, yeah.
And leaves his son, who is Michael B. Jordan's character, Killmonger. And that kind of sets off into chain. You're like, wow, that's so fucked up. Yeah, he would be mad. I get that 100%. I forgot where I was going with this. I just started talking.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. We find out later in the movie that happened and that he killed his brother. And then Chadwick really just starts to kind of sympathize with him. And there's this whole family struggle going on that I think's just genius. And it's almost Shakespearean. I would actually say that.
Sure.
Like, in the fact of, like, I mean, he's his cousin. He's coming back for the throne. And he sees himself as in the right all the time, Killmonger. But obviously he's doing this in such a radical way that it just won't work. And like he's just trying to send out weapons to all their war dogs. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Right? All that are basically their sleeper agents across.
What does that technically mean?
What?
When he's like their war dogs, like what does that mean?
That's just their code name. They're just like the spies that they sent out into the world that kind of lay into each country to see what's going on.
Okay.
And basically he was saying, guys, we can send out all this advanced weaponry, this like to help our brothers and sisters in the struggles and stuff like that. And that's why they're sending out all those to all the warmongers to arm the citizens. And
yeah,
stuff
so like that. That's why Michael B. Jordan's like Killmonger character is so good, because you can kind of like you can really like either sympathize or understand with what the situation is, because
even T'Challa is like
he's a very like real situation. Like obviously there's a lot of racial tensions, and like when he was a kid in the 90s there were racial tensions. He grew up with it. He knows it. You
seen it firsthand. He lives in a not like you can. It seems like a not so nice neighborhood.
I like how they made it Oakland and not fucking New York.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is our second movie in San Francisco because that's where Ant-Man takes place too.
Yeah, the overarching struggle just makes total sense with him. And there was one thing that I had in my mind, and now it's gone. It was something to do with something. Anyways, this movie is very good. I don't know how long we've been talking here. I don't want to ramble on.
I want to talk about some of the stuff. Like, I really like this movie, but there's not a lot of super standout parts. Everything's just kind of good, and nothing's like holy shit.
There's a few. I agree 100%. Actually,
like, even like the last battle, like there's this part where like he brings out rhinos, and that wasn't like anything crazy. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was definitely shit. Like there's just kind of a lot of stuff going on, and you're on this hillside. And you're like, all right, I guess this is cool.
Yeah, like it's good, but there's not a lot of things that like there's no Vision picks up Thor's hammer.
Exactly,
like in Age of Ultron.
He was like, what? I remember what I want to talk about now. So I really actually liked how they handled his powers. I originally thought in Civil War that his suit gave him all his abilities, but they talk about the heart-shaped herb in this, which basically is the thing that every king of Wakanda takes to be endowed with the power of Black Panther.
Yeah,
and we see Killmonger burn it all. So does that mean he's the last Black Panther?
Yeah, I think it does.
I think that there's just going to be another natural deposit of heart-shaped herb somewhere, because why wouldn't there be, right? If it happened,
Yeah.
But I guess it's because they probably grew because of the vibranium, right?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, hey, like he's the last Black Panther.
Yeah, and one kind of gripe I have with vibranium is it's a little like, we can heal you, we can do this, we can do that, we use this to make a suit.
I think that's understanding and the adaptation of the technology.
But like in the comics, it doesn't have anything like those.
Yeah, but clearly, like humans don't really know how to harness its true potential, and like that's why we made it into a shield.
Well, I guess Wakanda is Wakanda's the only one.
I don't know. Like if you're isolated and all you're doing, it's like you're fucking.
True, I guess why
number one resource, and you have all this time, and you have time to study it and like see like what it can do. Sure, maybe that stuff is possible.
And it is an alien rock,
when we have the smallest amount of sample and all we can do with it is make it into a weapon, that's what we did.
And I mean, like, they're making vibranium weapons, like these sonic weapons. Claw's weapons is a vibranium weapon.
Yes.
And it can, like, take out a car. It could take out a vibranium car.
Yeah,
because
that's what it is. Versus vibranium is...
But, like, that's fucking crazy. Like they have some insane weapon. Where were they when New York got attacked? Like, I'd be like,
giving a shit.
So at the end of this movie, something that I feel like they're gonna face repercussions for, just in the story wise, is Wakanda comes out and says, "Hey guys, we're gonna help." T'Challa's like, and they're like, well, what can a nation of farmers and sick hut people do? And then he just gives them a smirk. But then when they find out that they're like, hey, you guys could have been like saving a ton of lives with this shit, right? From like gunshot wounds in your spine and stuff like that. Like, where have you been? Especially, like, the countries around them. Like, I feel like you'd face some serious political backlash.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely.
And I just think that's a very interesting
way
to start up a new
one of the things I
movie.
feel like it's going to happen is, like, in every fucking Marvel movie since Avengers, every, like, person's weapon is a repurposed Chitauri tech. That's what all of Spider-Man's villains are right now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait when they kind of like just like, all right, that's gone. Now it's vibranium stuff because Wakanda's out and they stole some shit. And that's nice just for like some different like ideas for plot instead of reusing that same thing, because they do it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They do it in the movies a ton, and they do it in the Netflix stuff because that's what Diamondback's suit is repurposed. Tech. It's just like,
oh yeah, you're right.
By Hammer.
Yeah.
No,
that is.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It's they've been using it, and it's just like, holy shit! Like, how much longer can you use that as like a reason for somebody getting a weapon? Like, come on.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's so old.
And I guess then, they do just got to figure out a way. Like, I've developed this technology, something
now different. we have another escape.
No, it's vibranium. We got some.
We stole it from the Wakandans.
There was one scene I do want to talk about that the end fight scene,
the last fight scene,
and also the middle fight scene or I guess close to the end fight scene when it's just Killmonger and T'Challa battling on the side of the waterfall.
Okay, what do you?
So I actually liked. So basically, Killmonger shows up with Claw dead in tow for his which I thought was definitely good. Like, oh, that makes total sense.
I don't have to re-explain the whole scene.
But... No. I'm just saying he kills Claw and brings him there to offer up as tribute. So then he says, "We're gonna fight."
Can I interject real quick?
Yes, go for it. Interject.
How'd you like Claw's CGI? Did you notice his
hand,
his arm?
Well, I thought it was intentionally supposed to look plastic as hell.
No. Yeah. When he doesn't have it.
Oh, no, I didn't notice it.
When he's walking in that scene when he gets killed by him, it's so... the way his sleeve is, it looks like there's an arm, like, moving.
Just tucked behind it?
No. Like, clearly... There's
like an arm inside it,
but like
it's
his
like
sleeve is like perfectly like formed.
Round,
it's a little... And I was just like, what the hell?
See, that's funny. That will pull you out of it, though. Yeah. I didn't notice it.
It was kind of shitty, to be honest. Like, it wasn't there
like
for
we
that
said,
long.
dude, there was a lot of CGI things where I was just like, guys, what are we doing here? Like,
talk about the scene and then we'll get into it.
Basically, Killmonger uses that as tribute, and he comes back with his grandfather's ring, and he's like, I challenge T'Chaka to fight me. Beat T'Challa. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. So that's the T'Chaka thing. And since he's a family member by blood, he has that right to challenge him for the throne. So they fight on the side of the waterfall, which I think is just a really cool area. or just a cool scene. And I think that one's a little bit more heated and more, I don't know, visceral to me than the last fight scene.
Yeah, because it's not
it's
CGI.
Just exactly, and like it's actual hand-to-hand fist fighting. I'm like, man, they should have done something like that. Like, and they're not in these 2 bulletproof cat suits that you just swing, swing, swing. I'm fine. Swing, swing. Like,
so from the last scene, like when they're falling, I think it's fine. Once they hit the ground, it's kind of like this is a CGI nightmare. And the entire scene must have been CGI.
No, it was all basically
had to have been.
And none it was funny because I was thinking, I was like, how are they gonna get around the fact that they are literally wearing 2 vibranium suits? Like, and they're just gonna that fight would go on forever. And then I didn't hate the idea that they fell on the track. And, like, they have the, like, nullifiers.
I didn't hate it either, but, like, this...
It's just the execution.
This scene is 100% CGI. There can't be anything real.
I think, like, they're real underneath it sometimes because you see their... Once the, like, dampeners come, you see their suit, like, fluctuate, and that's basically how they can actually hurt each other.
Yeah, and, and you're seeing the scene, and it's kind of just, like... You know,
it's just this big
like,
CGI back and forth.
This looks like an animated movie at this point.
Yeah, and then... But I do think that the payoff was actually well worth it. The fight itself, So it gets the end, and finally T'Chaka. No, I am right. T'Challa gets one in. Before his suit closes up, he stabs him in the heart, Killmonger. And they kind of have this little moment, heart-to-heart, which is, I think, awesome. And basically it's Killmonger just talking about how his father would talk about Wakanda, and he wanted to see the sunrise there, or sunset there for the first time, because he heard how beautiful it was. And T'Challa as like I guess...
I mean, he doesn't really do it on purpose.
He does. He brings him up to see the sunset.
Oh, I thought he was just they happened to be sent.
I thought he brings him up.
He says it while they're watching it. And then he just brings him there.
And I thought he says it while he's sitting on the ground and he has the thing in his chest, and then he goes, okay, and then he brings him up on the lift and sits him down. I'd have to see it again. I don't.
Yeah, I don't think it happens like that.
I'm fairly sure.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, we both could be wrong. Anyways, I just thought that was real heart to heart, and then T'Challa's like, we can still save you. Like, we have the technology. And then even, he knows he's going to say no. Even T'Challa knows that. And Killmonger looks over at him and just gives him this whole spiel, or this whole thing, and it's really, I can't remember the line exactly, something along the lines of, like, bury me at sea, like how my people died, or something. And, because he wouldn't accept that. He's like, I'm not going to live in chains, I'd rather die at sea with my people, or something like that along the lines. And I did think that scene was like, oh, don't kill him, like, he's fucking awesome as a villain, but I totally get why they had to, and why
I think we could see him again. He drank the heart-shaped herb thing, so he could appear in the the ancestral plane thing.
True.
Like, we could see him again. He's not totally out of the question.
That's one thing we forgot to talk about too. I thought that was a really cool scene, the ancestral plane idea, like where you kind of once you become Black Panther, they lay you down and they bury you for some reason. I guess that's to go to the ancestral plane, and you can talk to all the old Black Panthers, and I thought that was really cool. But the scene I thought was very heartening and interesting was with Michael B. Jordan when he did it. And so basically, when T'Challa does it, he wakes up in this wide open field with a tree, and there's a bunch of panthers, and that's obviously the old Black Panthers. His dad comes down, he talks to him. But when Killmonger goes into this plane, he just goes back into the apartment where his father died, and he just has this conversation with him. And what it seemed like to me is that he was stuck there in that apartment forever because they left him there and didn't bury him. And basically he's just been sitting there in limbo by himself since he died. And like, that's so messed. And then that's where he goes to see his dad, and he just realized he's been sitting there for 25 odd years, just literally existing. I was like, damn, that's hard. Like, that's rough. And that's why we keep bringing it back to the villain, but the villain is just so freaking well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is really well
and they
done.
really do make you feel for him.
Like, I just watched Iron Man 3 yesterday, and for God's sakes, that movie is not good.
I need to rewatch. I didn't hate it.
Not fucking good. You
didn't like the... I didn't hate the, like,
the
Mandarin
plot is just stupid. Like...
But why? What do you mean? Well, let's not get into that right now. Hold on. Black Panther. So, yeah, a little disappointed with the end fight scene, but really enjoyed what came out of that end fight scene. We kind of already talked about the mid-credit scene where basically he's in front of the UN.
Yeah.
And and he says what Wakanda's going to be more.
Yeah, and they're gonna be establishing.
It was a very Tony Stark way of cutting it. Like it was at the end. He's like, "What can you do?" And then he just gives him the smirk, and it cuts.
So we're gonna be seeing like Wakandan like districts and cities that are gonna be like helping people out and like being active in just like all parts of society.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go
ahead. Forrest Whitaker's character I thought was very well done, and
I thought it was
very well. I just think the way he was used was like very like, oh man, that's all, like that makes total sense. There's a part where he stops Killmonger from killing T'Challa, and he's like, it was me. I was the reason that your father died, and he kills him, obviously, or not obviously. But I thought that was a very powerful scene, and I really liked him in that role. I actually might have liked to see more.
I didn't think much of it.
One thing that was super throwaway, and I don't even get why they were mentioning it, was Michonne, what's her name? The girl who plays Michonne.
Denai Guerrera.
Denai Guerrera, her character, and Get Out dude. I can't remember his name. They're like, hello, my love, hello, my love. And then they barely touch on it. Like, at all.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I forgot that they were even, like, husband and wife until, like, at the end, he's like, you would kill me, my love? And I'm like, oh, yeah. They're together. And there hasn't been any type of, like, dissemination, like, in the fact of, like, they're letting this crazy dude come in and literally flip Wakanda on its head. And another thing is, he really turned on T'Challa like that.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
I honestly, like, that, I was like, I don't really think he, like, deserves to be mad. Like,
I mean, like, or even just hash it out with him a little bit more. Give him like, there was just like a thing like, oh, you failed like your father, I see, and then he walked away. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it was one time. Like, it's not like it's not cool.
Yeah, but like he really doesn't have. He didn't go through what Killmonger did. Like he doesn't really like have that like.
No, I agree. And
be mad.
I think some of that might have been left on the cutting room floor. Like they just didn't keep it in.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Totally. But it was just one of those things where I was just like,
So one of the last scenes of the movie, the end credit scene, like at the very end. So Winter Soldier obviously still there. Wakes up. Shuri's like, I guess been taking care of him.
I think they've been rehabilitating him.
Brainwashing him, get him in a new arm. They call the kids call him White Wolf. The White Wolf is a character from Black Panther who's like a Dora Milaje like spec op person. So I don't know if they're hinting.
I thought he was
something.
Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Geralt's here.
So I don't know if they're hinting at something or what, but that's that.
No, that's
what that was a reference to.
And he just looks like he's just been chilling. He's in like his like monk's robes, and he's just like, oh, I've been chilling out.
I don't have an arm.
Long hair. I don't have an arm.
Two guys with no
arms.
But
I'm hanging out. Yeah, that's actually true. But overall, go see this movie.
I think there was one thing I wanted to say. Oh, this movie is relatively self-contained.
100%.
I think like you kind of need to watch Civil War. You don't have to.
I don't think you do. But yeah.
But it's good that you do. But yeah, this is a really self-contained movie. Like, at the end, it's world building, but none of the plot of the movie has anything to do.
And
with
I mean,
what's going
even the
on
stuff
outside.
that you're saying you might need from Civil War, they cover that in the movie. So I really don't think you need to.
To a degree.
Yeah, I think you're fine going in and seeing this movie by itself.
I guarantee a lot of people did.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been killing at the box office. I don't know what. Like opening weekend was crazy. I haven't checked the exact numbers, but it's been doing well.
They'll come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's kind of funny. We'll talk about it. So.
Overall thoughts, I give this 5 out of 5 Wakanda's Forever. I really liked it. Go see the movie if you haven't. If you're already still with us and you haven't seen the movie, I guess maybe you shouldn't have watched. Sorry. I don't know. But go see it.
Yeah, now Infinity War.
May 4th. May the 4th be with you, Gooch.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like, and then we got that, Solo, and what's the third? Deadpool that month. 3 movies. And Philly Comic-Con. I think that they're going to do an early showing for Deadpool like they did with Wonder Woman at Philly Comic-Con.
Probably.
And if we can like get in on the thing there.
Well, WB loves doing this.
That's true.
We saw Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman early.
But the Batman vs Superman
and Justice League.
Yeah, well that was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't want. Hey man, send them out a little early. I don't care. We're usually like Philly's a place where they do it usually too. It's like one of the places, or like King of Prussia or something like that. So we're pretty lucky in that respect. But Gooch, do you have anything else to say on Black Panther?
No. Go see it. It's definitely like It's good. It's different. You're not gonna. And I was talking to Trio. One of the things I'm interested to see. Like this will probably get a sequel eventually, but it would be interesting to.
It will get a sequel.
It would be interesting to see what they're gonna do because they're gonna have to differentiate.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like the politically driven thing that I think they can really go for in that next one.
Yeah, like this one is so like different. Yeah, and like they don't want to don't do more.
You don't want to retread it.
Yeah, like it's not 100%. Gonna be. It's not gonna be original the second time around. Like this time it was. So
totally.
I think we'll get a sequel, not near future. It'll be a while, I think.
2 years.
2-3 years, maybe.
But, I mean, yeah, that's how any sequel works anymore with these guys. Like, even Guardians of the Galaxy comes out 2 years in between. Like, usually they give it 2 years for, like, a cat movie or something. Or they did. But anyways, thank you all for watching today. You can find us, if you're watching on here, on Facebook.com/The Delco Nerd Network, YouTube.com/The Delco Nerd Network, as well as Twitter and Instagram @Delco Nerds. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching. Stay nerdy.